It's time to get down to business on TK Business Live, brought to you by the members of the Topeka Independent Business Association. Now, let's join Tara Dimmick, owner and publisher of TK Business Magazine, as we take a look into the business world of Topeka, Kansas.
Hi, and welcome to TK Business Live. It's great to be with you this Sunday, and we have a great show. It's jam-packed. Jennifer Kirmse with Azura Credit Union is joining us, Brenda with Dandelions, and Guth with American Tax Service. So we're going to get started right away. I have Jennifer Kirmse with me. She is the Vice President of Business Development with Azura Credit Union. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, Tara. How are you?
So Jennifer and I have been longtime friends, and we have been working together with the Topeka Independent Business Association and through all kinds of different organizations and leadership opportunities. And recently, Jennifer with Azura came in and really created a very cool partnership between the Topeka Independent Business Association and the Greater Topeka Chamber of Commerce. So talk a little bit about this partnership that was created and how Azura mixes into that.
Well, you know, as I was meeting with different clients that we work specifically with small to medium-sized businesses at Azura Credit Union. And one of the things that they really felt was that the chamber was more about big business. And, you know, after having a conversation with Matt Pavarnik over at the chamber office, he said that he had been hearing some of the same rumblings as well. And so we decided just to have a meeting together. And, you know, I told him all about Topeka Independent Business Association and just felt that there was a lot of really good synergy between the two organizations. And why not create a council that did a lot of collaboration with TIBA along with Topeka Chamber members to create a new organization or new council to help be a resource and a tool for small businesses in the Topeka area.
And there's a difference because for TIBA, it's a membership based, and part of that partnership is a membership to TIBA, right?
That is correct.
With the chamber. So talk about that real quick.
Yeah. So what we're doing, part of the Azura sponsorship dollars are going to be utilized for dual membership. So if you become a member of the Topeka Chamber of Commerce, as a small business owner, you get $100 paid towards your TIBA membership. And in most instances, the business will be paid in full.
Right. For my business, it was for TK. For us, we only have 2 employees. So we're paid in full with $100.
Right. And so it's that 5 employees or less their full membership is covered for the TIBA. And with TIBA, what we do is we have our monthly luncheons. We have speakers that come in. We talk about tax issues, talk about coaching clients, talk about disaster recovery, just a lot of those tough topics that, you know, we sit in all these webinars and stuff, but until you actually talk to an expert and can have that dialogue with them, it really takes that to a different level.
It does. So then part of this, so if you're a chamber member and you want to be able to have access to TIBA, you have that now. So you have the $100 going towards that. So take advantage of that. It's an awesome incentive. And it was really, I thought that was very creative for Azura to step in and make that type of sponsorship or make that part of the sponsorship. So really talk about the Small Business Council now. Tell us about how is it made up and what is the purpose of the Small Business Council, which will be through the Greater Topeka Chamber of Commerce.
Right. The Small Business Council, and like I said, we can't do this alone. We had a great working group that helped us get it off the ground. We have selected our slate of candidates to sit on the Small Business Council, but part of that working group was Lonnie Williams. He is with L&J Building Maintenance. He is going to be the chair for 2017 for the Small Business Council. Then we have Nick Exitis, owner of Hazel Hill Chocolates. He's going to be the vice chair. And then we also have Kathleen Erbaum with Erbaum Law Offices, Keith Richards, Brady Robb. They also sat on that working committee, and then Dr. Julie Swift as well. They helped have a lot of collaboration and just helped us decide who's going to make up the best makeup for the Business Council. And so what their job is going to be as a council whole is going to come to the table and let us know what issues are affecting small businesses in general. That way we can work on action plans to try to mitigate any obstacles that small businesses may have, whether it's permits when they're doing build-outs for construction or even purchasing buildings, anything from tax laws that we can help advocate at the state level. We can work with them on that. There's a lot of different areas that we know that are obstacles for small businesses, and we want to try to alleviate those obstacles and make their business more successful in the Topeka area, because small businesses are the backbone of any really good, strong economy.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you're identifying to make sure that different industries are being are sitting at the table. And another key piece is you're also grabbing industries that oftentimes are really hard to get to, maybe a TIBA meeting or a chamber after hours, because they don't have the time for it. Maybe that's during the lunch hour, the dinner hour, or their hot buying hour, or the retail sales time. And so they can't step away from their small business to go to a networking meeting, even though they know they need it to grow. It's this constant struggle for them. So it's really, I think that's the other piece of the council that is unique, is really striving for the variety of industries, so you can really hear a strong voice of what is going on in all different niches.
Right, exactly. And we really wanted to be intentional with that. We wanted to make sure that there was going to be a restaurant owner or even a serial entrepreneur, someone that owns multiple businesses sits on that council, somebody that definitely in the retail business, someone with some online experience, someone that, does copiers and sells machines and so forth. We really wanted to be intentional with who sat on that council. And these were actually people that applied through the application process that we had back in October. And letting this full slate know within these coming weeks of who's going to be sitting on that council. And then we'll have our first full meeting in January 2017. So that's when it will fully be official.
Awesome. Well, it's very exciting. And if, so you're still in that process. So if somebody's interested or would like more information about the Small Business Council, how do they get more information?
Yeah, they can go to the Topeka Chamber, or they can call the Topeka Chamber and ask for Glenda Washington to receive more information. Because even though we have our slate of nominees that are going to sit on the council, we're still going to have working groups. And with that, we're going to have events chair, a membership chair, a marketing. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for other businesses to be part of those working groups, because we really want to have the opinion and know the good and the bad and the ugly that come along with small businesses and how we can help them become better.
Awesome. Well, it's an exciting thing. It's a great decision by the chamber to step into this playing area, because I think I've heard it a lot that small businesses have maybe been forgotten for several years now. And so we're excited about what this change will bring for the chamber as well. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Azura Credit Union. What else are you guys up to?
We have our local perks program. We had our local perks program for the last 2 years, and we did a kind of a relaunch of it when we had our new brand come out with Azura. And we've been meeting with our partners, and in 2017, something you'll see is our preferred perks coming back around. And what a preferred perk is that we will do a media blitz for a given period of time for a specific business. And then if you're not familiar with our local perks, what we do is we market the small business, and in exchange for us marketing that business, we ask that they offer our members a type of discount. So some of our partners that we currently have on board, we've got a great slate of them, but we have like the Break Room, where you can get 15% off of food purchases. Cafe Holiday, they have an awesome deal where you get $1 for a chicken taco with chips and salsa. We've got Field of Greens, Julie's, Nibs, The Shack, Shanna Cakes, Via's, Tequilas, and Tequila's opened up a new location over in North Topeka, which is delicious, and their waitstaff is amazing. We also have Absolute Design by Brenda, Colorworks, Jess and Rosie's. I don't know if you've been to Jess and Rosie's, but if you're doing any holiday shopping, Ann O'Brien is amazing and her staff over there. You can get 15% off of all full price merchandise over there. The Linen Tree, Whitehall, Wolves, Mary Lane, Candles, Leaping Llamas, Portico, Ego Salon. We tried to be really intentional when we were creating these local perks, making sure that we included both retail and restaurant and service-based industries as we're getting these slate of businesses on the program. So awesome. You can check us out on Facebook, kind of see what some of the deals are out there, or if you want to become part of the group where you get emailed when we have special deals, just email us at communityimpact@azuracu.com.
Very cool. And that community impact, talk about that a little bit. What is it that you are working on with community impact?
Community impact, it is definitely an area that we're really growing on. It's something that as we were sitting down together as a management team, that we knew we wanted to be incredibly intentional about, because, without the community, we wouldn't be here, because, we started as a small credit union and have just grown over the years, and we couldn't have done that without the community. So we really wanted to be intentional with dollars that are spent and make sure that we are giving back to our community. And we do that through various relationships. We have a community impact card where A portion of every debit card transaction goes back to Topeka Rescue Mission and TARC, and we'll probably be having a really some nice announcements in 2017 as we grow those programs. And then, we just really, really, truly believe in giving back to our community. And we also give our employees 8 hours of volunteer time on an annual basis because we truly believe in rolling up your sleeves and getting out there and doing it. And we're also doing a volunteer night at Winter Wonderland. We have about 15 of our awesome employees going to go out there and work the gates of Winter Wonderland. That's always a lot of fun. Just getting together, the camaraderie, paying for dinner for everybody and trying to stay warm together.
Right, because it could be a cold night.
Yeah, I think they forecasted 9 degrees this year. We've had some really awesome nights where it's 55, 60, and then we've had some really blustery, windy evenings as well. But it's a lot of fun, and it's all for a great cause, and we love our community partners.
That's awesome. Jennifer, you talk about business too. Is there anything else that you want to mention while you're talking about businesses and what you do with the business community?
We are all about business. We're about the small to medium-sized businesses. We look at, we have people that come to us and they tell us what they're having problems with, and we really take a look at the whole picture, analyze it, and we give them options. It's all about giving them options. There's not a cookie cutter deal that comes across my desk. You just have to really be strategic and really looking out for the best interest of the business and what's going to work best for them, whether it's a business credit card or a line of credit or refinancing some collateral that they have already purchased, and just getting them in a lower payment and stretching some of those payments out so they can have a little bit more breathing room and also improve their cash flow as well. So we're all about just trying to make them more successful.
Great. How does people learn more about what's going on over at Azura?
Yeah, check us out at azuracu.com.
All right. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
My name is Ken Daniel, and the name of my company is Midway Wholesale.
What is TIBA? TIBA is advice and support. TIBA is information and education. TIBA is a voice for small business.
It's amazing the changes that we've gotten made in state law to the point where we had a list at one time and it's just about finished.
The Topeka Independent Business Association is strong because of its members. Become a member today by visiting topekatiba.org.
I have Brenda Ruhnke with me. She is the owner of Dandelions. So, Brenda, if someone doesn't know what Dandelions is, what's Dandelions?
Dandelions is an arts and crafts studio, mostly geared towards kids, but we do have projects for adults also. We do birthday parties. We do group events. If you want to have a big girls' night out, we can do that. We have a wide variety of projects for just about any age from 2 on up to 92.
Great. So, this is a pretty unique concept. I mean, we've seen some similar things where you can go maybe do pottery or paint. There's a paint company. Sorry, it's totally blanking what it is. But where did this come from? What were you thinking, and how did you develop Dandelions?
I had actually found a similar place in Kansas City that my grandchildren were pretty much my inspiration, looking for fun things to do with them. And then about a year ago, I was sitting at my office job that I really hated and thinking, what else can I do? This came to mind. About that time, I saw an ad for the Small Business Development Center doing a course on find out if your business idea is viable, and it just took off from there.
That's awesome. So you were able to use the Small Business Development Center.
Oh, yes. I wouldn't be here without them.
I love to hear that because I think sometimes people know that resource is there, but then they don't take advantage of it. So it's nice to hear somebody take advantage of it. And look, here you are now.
Uh-huh.
So tell us about the location. So you're in Brookwood.
We're in Brookwood Shopping Center. We are on the terrace. We're right between Dillon's and Boss Hogs.
How's that location been for you?
Great. It's really great. I get a lot of walk-by traffic from Boss Hogs and such, and it's a really nice location. The terrace is there, so if the weather's nice, like during a birthday party, the kids can have the party, the parents can go sit out on the terrace and have a little peace and quiet. So it's been great, and the Rob Company has been awesome to work with.
That's awesome. Brady and Becky, they're awesome over at the Rob Company. They're a really good group to work with, and I have heard nothing but similar things to that when I hear about the tenants who work with them. So how about being a business owner? So you weren't a business owner prior?
No.
So what has been maybe some of the surprises, maybe both good and bad, of business ownership?
It's a whole lot of work. I've never worked so hard in my life, and I've raised kids and done daycare and everything. Everything costs more than you think it's going to. That's where the Small Business Development Center and Go Topeka have been a big help also with some matching funds and such. But it's also done a lot to restore my faith in humanity, that the industry I was in before was kind of cutthroat and every man for himself, and it's just amazing how many people want to help you succeed. I have mentors with SCORE that have been tremendous help, and so that to me has been the most surprising thing. I think I had gotten a little bit jaded, and just to rediscover that people really do want to help you to succeed out there.
They really do. And just to reference SCORE, SCORE is made up of business professionals who might be retired now. Some of them aren't. Some of them are still in their careers, but that their love is to mentor and help small business owners who are looking for someone who has had some serious experience. I mean, I know executives who worked 40 some odd years for Hills or Payless who are now part of SCORE and are pretty phenomenal.
They are. They're wonderful.
Yeah, and they think about things. I mean, my experience with SCORE has been they think about things that maybe I either don't want to talk about, they make me talk about it, or maybe I didn't even see it in my sights. So SCORE is a pretty impactful group. So I just love hearing that. So you have used, small business incentives. You've taken advantage of the Small Business Development Center, and you've utilized SCORE, and here you are, and fighting to be a business owner. So that's awesome. So Dandelions. Dandelions, to me, one of the biggest things. I'm a mom of kids from 13 to 3. And my 3-year-old, there's no way I would give her glitter. So I might give her glitter at your place, though.
That's fine. That's what we're there for.
So talk about what was the kind of the inspiration for why you wanted to have glitter everywhere?
It's not so much that I need to have glitter anywhere, but I do know that there are a lot of kids who come in and say, well, Mom doesn't let us have glitter at home, or we're not allowed to make messes, or Moms, and I understand you don't want glitter all over your house. It's impossible to get rid of. So that's kind of what and we've actually changed our technique since we started, that we have pretty much a way to put on glitter that it will not fall off once you leave the studio. So you won't end up with glitter in your car and such. So
that's awesome. So if you're thinking about different things that you should do with your family, or maybe you've got family coming in with the holiday season, this is a great thing to go check out and try.
It is. We also do birthday parties. Parents are always surprised because our parties are very quiet because the kids all get focused on their project, and it just it'd be dead silence in the room, which is surprising when you're used to Chuck E. Cheese or something of that nature for a birthday party. We are booking some families over Christmas. Like if you're having your family Christmas early and want something for everybody to do, I have a couple people that are bringing in their whole family, and everybody will do a craft and have it to keep as a memento of their Christmas.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think that would be an awesome experience. Or if you just want to make a holiday gift, right?
Yes,
something for grandma and grandpa that they can't get anywhere else.
Yes, we're doing a lot of things with handprints and footprints now. We can also do a girls' night. If you have a group of girlfriends that want to get together for an evening, you can come and everybody do a project, and you can bring your own adult beverages if you want to, and just make a party of it.
That's awesome. So go check out Dandelions. It's over in Brookwood, between Dillon's and Boss Hogs. And what's the website if they want to learn more?
It's www.dandelionstopeka.com. And we are also on Facebook. You can like our page on Facebook.
Oh, definitely do that. Go online right now. You have your phone. Go like them on Facebook. Make sure that you're liking them and learning about all the things that they're doing over at Dandelions. Brenda, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
I have Kurt Guth with me. He's with American Tax Service. Welcome, Kurt.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to be here again.
Yes, it's always great to have you. And of course, we're here to talk about taxes. But last time we talked, we were talking about the election, but we were just kind of talking about, I wonder what's going to happen. So I said, I'm going to have him come back and talk about the election after we find out who has won. And now we know that Trump has won.
Yep. And that was a surprise to me, quite frankly. I think last time me as well as every other person in the country that wasn't a secret voter, that did not expect Trump to win the presidency. And as I was telling you earlier, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like Mall Cop 3. I don't know what number they're on, actually, but it feels kind of like Paul Blart is running the country. So he means well, is good, potentially good-hearted, and we don't know quite what's going to happen at the end, but he's running around the mall, knocking over displays, that type of thing, and it seems like there's been a lot of shakeups, and he hasn't even taken office yet.
No, he hasn't. This is going to be a hard conversation for me because I'm laughing about this. But when he first mentioned that mall cop thing, my first thing was, so isn't Paul what is this?
Blart.
Paul Blart. Sorry, Boston. I was going to bring you into the story. But Paul Blart, isn't he kind of like the hero at the end? And like he saves the day and everybody loves him?
I think that's what we're hoping for. Right? I mean, we don't know the end of the story yet. I mean, but so far, I can't say it's been positive or I'm encouraged by it. But I think that we're definitely in for some antics, I guess, and we've seen that already. Obviously contacting the president of Taiwan and that type of thing, and the deal in Indiana, the carrier plant, and that was kind of I think it sets a bad precedent. I'm not sure if that's an effective way to keep jobs in America, but I do know by my calculation that he owes me about $70,000.
Right, just because you're going to keep jobs here.
I'm going to keep these jobs in Topeka. I thought about moving to Mexico, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to tweet that out to him, and he'll send me a check for $70,000 in tax savings. That's what I'm hoping for. So, it's much more modest, right? It's not $7 million.
So at least the tax professionals also have a sense of humor,
right? So what does that mean? I mean, now obviously in this context, what's it mean for tax law? And I think if he had his way, if it was just basically, he had no impediments to getting this done, which. With Congress and House, it seems like there aren't as many.
Right. He's got an opportunity.
Right, yeah. So I think we would be looking at a simpler tax code, from what his plan is. But I don't know how effective it will be. He's talking about raising the standard raising the standard deduction and doing away with much more itemizations, or raising the personal exemption, whatever it is. It's combining the two and basically doing away with, some of those deductions that we take for granted and pushing people out of being able to itemize. So with a higher standard deduction, fewer people would be able to take their mortgage interest and that type of stuff. And also that would affect how people give to charity. So I think probably people who sell houses and the housing industry, which is admittedly pretty big in the United States, and then also nonprofits probably are sweating a little bit seeing how that's going to affect them, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very positive thing. But a simpler tax code is nice, shortening the tax brackets and going from as many as we have to, he's cutting out like 3 or 4 tax brackets. But I've also read studies that that's going to affect, you guessed it, the middle class, right? I mean, it seems like we always tend to bear the brunt of whatever's going on in the country because we're the biggest swath of the population. So I think that is a little worrisome. I'm not sure how much more you can just keep taxing or not taxing the middle class. I mean, it's basically the political football that it is. But I think that we're in for a ride regardless. So I'm not sure what that's going to be like, but I think he'll definitely try to push for pretty big tax reform.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at like the businesses that you work with, how should they be looking forward to some of this stuff? Should they be planning, or are they just, let's wait and see? Yeah.
Most of the talk so far has been surrounding the individual tax rates and stuff like that. So I don't know how it's going to affect businesses just yet, but it will. And the only thing you can think of is that hopefully, he would be pro-business and that businesses would benefit from that. We've seen, legislation that's supposed to be pro-business that has some unintended consequences, especially in our great state. I think that is something to watch out for. Obviously, if it's good for one, it might be taking away from another area and stuff like that. So obviously, you got to be vigilant. But I'm hopeful that it'll be pro-business.
Yeah, definitely.
Being, given his background and that type of thing. So.
Well, and I think the thing about that pro-business thing is sometimes I feel like when people hear that, they maybe think that there's some negative connotation around it, but really it's about if the businesses are successful, then the people are successful. It all circles around. But the businesses have to be there so that they can create employees, so that they can create all those jobs.
Yeah, you can't not have business. Right? I mean, in a capitalistic society, we can't survive without, especially small business. Obviously big businesses make big dollars, but there's so many small businesses that, rely on a favorable tax code. And, that goes, and small business is defined, not like you and I would maybe think of it as, I'm selling some Mary Kay on the side type of thing. And we're talking $10 million in revenue or less. So, I think that, and they employ a lot of people.
They employ a lot of people.
A lot of people, as we both know that. So, that's obviously something to look forward to. I hope that it's pro-business, that we get some legislation that's pro-business and helps the economy, as opposed to, just, robbing it from, putting it in another pocket. I hope it really does. I guess I hope that some of the stuff, at least, that he has promised, would come to fruition.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about taxes. It's coming up.
Yep.
We're coming to year end.
Already.
So close.
Yeah.
So with just a little bit of time left, what do we need to be doing right now?
On the business side, good year-end tax planning. Obviously, if the business is doing well, you got to look at whether or not you can afford to buy some equipment or some, a vehicle, something like that to offset your tax balance. And that's, obviously something that you should be looking at pretty closely. We're getting pretty tight on time, but it's always worth it, good tax planning. And then the other thing is good record keeping, keeping that stuff in mind, tracking your mileage if you're a smaller business and can take the mileage. If you're, if you're sloppy with your bookkeeping, it's going to take more time. The likelihood of things being missed is going to be greater. And on the individual side, the biggest thing obviously is you probably heard about it, is the delay that people's refunds, if they're getting earned income credit or advanced or additional child tax credit, that their refunds are going to be delayed until after the 15th of February. So that is important to realize that, if you get in early, don't delay, still go in.
Right,
you just have
still
to
get
wait.
it in, just know it's not coming.
Yeah. And keep in mind too that it's
it's coming, just not yet.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's first come, first serve is basically how we're thinking about that. So if you get your tax return in, but it's not going to be refunded, you're still going to be, first in line to get that refund when they start issuing. So it's important not to wait. It's important to talk to a tax advisor and make sure that you understand what the ramifications of that are if they do affect you, and work with somebody if you can. To make sure you're not stressed out too much about tax season, which is inevitable, but still we can help.
Right. So talk a little bit about the planning side of this, because I think that we get to this time of year and we say, I'm going to create a plan so it's not like this next year.
That's right.
And then we get to this time of the year the next year and we say, I'm going to create a plan so that this doesn't happen again. When do we start creating the plan?
Well, I'm a nerd. So I believe in a lot of spreadsheets and processes and procedures. And
Yawn.
That type of thing. Yeah, exactly. It's so boring. But they can be exciting. I mean, you can add colors to spreadsheets, right? And make it pop.
You just called the spreadsheets exciting.
Yeah. So basically, you want to look for a good template. Look for a good process that works for you. It may not be the most orthodox. I mean, everybody can craft their own thing, but it has to be repeatable. That's all. And so if you have a file folder, you always put this in, that type of thing. But work with your professional too, because we'll show you how to craft something that looks like what we want to see at the end of the year. That's the biggest thing. It's like, well, I'm going to do this. And then they give us something and I had to recreate it. I had to rebuild it, to get it to where I could put it on a tax return. So, I put everything by month. Well, okay, that's great. But everything goes by category on Schedule C or the business return. It doesn't go by month. So you want to make sure that your categories are right so that we don't have to do everything and spend more time and more fees and that type of thing on the tax return. You just want a good, repeatable process, and you should probably talk to somebody who has some experience doing that.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
So, Kurt, what do they do when they want to do that with you? How do they get a hold of you? What's the process like? How do you make that happen?
Well, they can call and talk to the office manager or to the staff, and they can set an appointment with me or come in and just get some general questions. Email is always good too. But at this time of the year, I mean, it's all about setting appointments and coming in and seeing me. I'm starting to get pretty short-sighted on time. So,
but you still came and saw us.
Right.
That's so nice.
Well, always. So, yeah, but that is definitely the best way is to go in and meet with somebody. If it's a new thing, you shouldn't really be talking to a new tax professional at the end of the year or during tax season, unless it's necessary. But you should be, meeting that person in the middle of the year or in the third quarter or so you can get some, and that person doesn't know your business, so he needs some familiarity with that too, or she, and that's important, to start that relationship a little earlier on. But if you haven't done that and you still need to see a professional, call us and get an appointment on the books and that type of thing. So
great. Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts about this whole Trump agenda, the 2016 taxes, or what we should be doing?
I think I've probably said enough, is my guess. Just remember, Paul Blart. That's who we're talking about.
Paul Blart. Yeah. Kurt, it was great to have you on, and I hope you have a great tax season and not too crazy, but just crazy enough.
Right, exactly. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Tara.
Thanks so much for joining me on TK Business Live. I hope you have a great Sunday afternoon, and go shop local.
Thanks for joining Tara and her guests on TK Business Live. Join us again next Sunday at 11:30 to hear more from our community business leaders, entrepreneurs, and people making a difference in the landscape of how business is progressively moving forward in Topeka. TK Business Live is brought to you by the members of the Topeka Independent Business Association.